G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's get right into it. Our first post is by user ThrowRAANAP, titled, I, male 27, just found out that I might be an affair partner of female 34. For my job, I travel between 3 different states about every week or so. I will be at one job site for a week, and then the next for a week, and so on. Things change as needed. Date of travel, location, and duration of the job. I don't have kids or am in a serious relationship. I met this woman G over a year ago. She was at a bar that some of my coworkers like to go after their shift. I went to get around for the group, and she was also getting a drink. We began talking, and I introduced myself, and she herself. We ended up talking most of the night, but we left it at the bar. We talked a few more times over the course of a month, also at said bar or local place. She said she was divorced and not looking for anything. That turned into her just wanting nothing serious and something fun and casual. Due to the nature of my job with traveling and the unpredictability of my schedule, I agreed. We exchanged numbers, and that was that. We usually would hook up about 4 to 8 times a month. Most of the time we would be at the hotel that I was put up in. She said she lived far and I was closer and a safer option. I never questioned her because she was always available, spent nights and weekends, and was not glued to her phone. I really didn't have any reason to question her. It was fun and we had a good connection. That was until last night. We were hanging out when I needed to go get some things from the store and she came with me. We were doing some shopping, having a good time, joking, flirting and laughing. As we were going down an aisle, we heard someone yell, "Gee, is that you?" G's demeanor changed. Red flag number 1. It turns out that person was an old work friend of G's. They talked a little bit when this friend asked who I was. I politely introduced myself. When the lady asked how we knew each other, G quickly said, "Oh, he's an old friend from town that she grew up in." Red flag number 2. That's when the lady asked G, "What's David up to?" Another awkward shift, red flag number 3. And G said something about he's doing fine, busy with work, but she clearly didn't want to talk about it. David is her ex-husband? They finished the conversation soon after, and I went back to shopping. After we get out of the store, I asked her what that was all about. She said that it was nothing and wants to put it behind her. Red flag number 4. She was distant the whole way back to the hotel. I could tell her mind was on something miles or kilometers away. Red flag number 5. I asked if she was okay, and she said yes, just fine. Then she cut the night short, making a terrible excuse and left. Red flag number 6. She was originally supposed to see me off this morning. Up to this point, it didn't occur to me that she might have lied about being divorced. I tried to look her up on the Book of Face, and I couldn't find her under the name that I knew. Red flag number 7. There was a private account that might have been her, but a different last name. I couldn't investigate further due to account settings. I now am on my way to a different job site and won't be back for probably 15 days. She didn't respond to my text asking if she was alright or what was going on. The situation is odd and feels off. I'm not sure what to do. P.S. I do get tested regularly and have always been clean. My thoughts on this is, if there's smoke, there's a fire. There is just so much smoke going on in this story, and probably a raging fire about to happen back at home with David, that's for sure. Sounds like it's time to end things and let David know. That's the right thing to do. In the comments, Cupcake to Die For says, "If you're not down with being the side piece, then it's time to end things." HR Per Frockington says, "Yeah, David is not her ex. So, Ghost Protocol with a courtesy shout out to David seems the ticket. In my opinion, he should know that she's calling him an ex and acting like he is one, so he can go right ahead and make her one." Ouch. Been there. During my single/bachelor times, I met a woman. She was single and we had a friends with benefits type of thing for a month until I found out she had a husband and kids. I messaged the husband and told him, and even offered to be a witness in divorce if he needed it. He thanked me, and that was the end of my involvement. For some more relevant comments from OP, "We always met up in town or somewhere close to it. She said that she never changed her name during the marriage or divorce. Something to do with her dad being very strict on the importance of a last name. Looking back, there are a bunch of red flags that I never looked into or I didn't care in the moment. My mind was usually on other pressing matters. She seemed shocked that the lady called out. Still, she sent me a message that read, "I'm sorry," and that was it. What gets me is I don't believe there were multiple affair partners. Maybe a husband, Dave. It was the first time where I didn't try to make a move to flirt. It happened, in my opinion, naturally. The conversation wasn't forced, never any awkward moments. As I said, she wasn't on her phone much or taking calls while leaving the room. She never hid her phone. She was always available. If she had multiple partners, I feel like she wouldn't be comfortable with all of that. I'm still confused and hurt. I will see if you're right when I go back. I'll see if she disappears. And now, on to the update. Hello all, thanks for the few comments. You did help me. As a recap, I travel a lot between 3 facilities in different states for work on a somewhat regular basis. Over a year ago, I met G for Gina. We were basically friends with benefits with a bit more. Last time we were together, we were at a grocery store, and a former coworker called her out and asked how David was, and I had no idea who she was talking about. Gina got weird and stopped talking to me while showing multiple red flags. I couldn't look her up for some reason on social media, and then she basically ghosted me. I just traveled back there, and she was actually at our normal meeting place, the bar. I was surprised to actually see her again. I noticed that she was talking to a guy. When she noticed me, she gave a smile for like half a second, and she got a worried look on her face. She came over to me and apologized again and wanted to talk. Long conversation short, she is married to David. She did lie about her last name and blocked me on social media. She said it was because she was surprised how she felt about me and she didn't want to hurt me. She came clean about everything. Turns out that she and David have been married for 10 years, but Gina is what people call a beard. She is straight, and her husband is 110% not. Their parents are both super religious and traditional. They live together but have separate lives and relationships. The marriage is basically a cover and only on paper. David is actually a really cool guy and kept complimenting me and made the comment, "I see why you like him so much. I would have taken him home with me as well." I don't know how to take that. I'm not sure what the relationship is going to be like moving forward, but thanks for everything. Edit to add, the person she was talking to at the bar was David. The real David. After Gina and I talked, he came over and we all talked for a few hours. He is a nice guy. Also, I do get tested regularly. For some relevant comments on why she married her husband knowing he was gay, as stated in other comments, his family is not from our country originally. They are extremely religious, traditional, racist, homophobic people. If he came out, most likely his life would be in danger. On his future with Gina, I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about it, and I need to talk to her more about the future. On why he was blocked on social media. They were hiding the fact that she was married. She blocked me right after the store incident, in case I were to look them up and contact someone who doesn't know of their relationship. I'm not a social media user. I have them, but I don't use them, so I never got her Facebook or Insta. We communicated through text and Snapchat. In the comments, Captain Kate757 says, "I knew a married couple like this. The only difference is that they were both gay and using each other as beards to hide it from their families. So I mean, this definitely does happen sometimes. It's pretty shitty of her to have ghosted you instead of telling you any of this, though." Sappho2869 replies, "This makes me so entirely sad that people have to live fake lives to appease other people. I understand why they do, and have zero judgment that they do. It's just that it makes me incredibly sad and grateful that my child knows he'll never have to do this." I agree on the ghosting. It was shitty of her. Though, how does a conversation go with a potential partner that you're getting to know? "Hi, I'm married, but my spouse is 100% okay with us knocking boots. You don't have to worry about a threesome or him watching." How could you have that conversation without the spouse actually being there to verify? This isn't exactly a polyamorous relationship. I am weirdly curious about this. Sex worker says, "This is probably the best way that it could have turned out. She really should have been more upfront about her beard relationship, but I imagine it's hard to subject yourself to judgment from strangers that you want to hook up with. You have a clear go-ahead to keep seeing her if you're interested." Charlie Chuck replies, "I think she's more worried about snitches." Yeah, depending on where they live, that could actually put David in real, tangible danger, and Gina would be in danger too as an accessory to the crime of being gay. Not to mention that it could get them disowned and shatter their social lives and support structure. Gina is totally justified being secretive about this in my opinion, but OP was also totally justified for being suspicious. True, no one is really wrong, just people trying to navigate their life the best they can. Remote Broccoli says, 2 of my friends are in just that kind of agreement. They are each other's beard and skirt. And they have a wonderful friendship, and to their respective religious group, they seem happy, but are infertile. They meet their family once every year and plan to divorce soon because they are far enough outside of the grasp of Jehovah's Witnesses now that they can leave without losing too much. If their families are observant, they will lose their families. For those that don't know, if you have been baptized as a Jehovah's Witness and later leave either on your own or because you commit a serious sin and are non-repentant, no Jehovah's Witness are permitted to have contact with you until you come back. Parents, siblings, aunts and uncles, etc. are all required to cut you off. If they don't, they risk being thrown out and shunned also. Well, I would say all's well that ends well personally with that one. OP also did mention that he checked IDs and he verified that they are indeed a married couple and that this is true. It's unfortunate that situations like this have to occur because of controlling religious institutions, but hey, I'm glad that these 2 are making it work. What do you guys think of this one? I'd love you to let me know down in the comments below. Our next post is by user Dalek Philosopher, titled, I, male 31, don't like tattoos, and my soon-to-be wife, female 30, just got one in the worst possible place. As the title says, I don't like tattoos. I don't think you are special for having one. I don't think you're a deep person for getting a random Chinese character on your skin. I especially don't like those big, intricate tattoos that cover a lot of skin. I just don't like them. But having said that, I have friends that have all of the above, and that's fine. It's not on my skin, it doesn't bother me, and as long as we can talk about anything else, it's all fine. Enter my soon-to-be wife. We've been together for 5 years. She is painfully aware of my feelings, but she still wanted to have a tattoo before we marry, a symbol of us to carry with her. I didn't really like the idea, but what can I really do? I love her, and what harm can a tattoo do? We talked about where she should have it done, and the back of the wrist came as a suggestion, the shoulder, on her leg, on her back, tramp stamp, etc. She goes and has it done, and I can't be there with her because I have an important client visiting at work, and time off is impossible. She texts me during work telling me that it's done and that she loves me, so I ask for a picture of the end result, and she tells me that I can see it tonight, as it will be a surprise. So I finally get home and she's dolled up in a super tight black dress with stockings and everything for a night of fun. She tells me to go have a shower and she will have dinner ready in the meantime. I ask to see the tattoo and she tells me later. I'm frustrated. I go to have the shower, come back down and have dinner. Then we go to the fun stuff. I didn't see the tattoo on her wrist or legs, so I think to myself, it's either on her back, upper thigh, or her shoulder, and I'm fine with that. I undo her zipper in the back, and then she returns and lets her dress down. Instant boner killer. She had it done on her chest above her breasts. It's big and in your face. It leaks above her breasts, like on top of the breasts. It has thick contours. Yeah, this didn't go well with me. She completely ignored my opinions. She disregarded the places where we agreed that she could have it done, and it's a monstrosity of a tattoo in a place where I will always have to see it if we make love, or she wears a bikini or something that has a cleavage. It is also something that is personal to me. Of all the things she mentioned the tattoo will be, she never told me about this. She said she wanted it to be a gift to me, to show me her dedication. I feel disrespected, ignored. Like my wishes and desires have no meaning to her. To me it shows that she thinks my status will be in our relationship, that she will just be able to go over anything that I say and take drastic decisions without caring of the consequences. Well, a consequence of this is that I am calling off the wedding. She is in freak-out mode. She said she thought that I'd like it, that she wanted to show her dedication to me, that she'll have it removed, basically anything she thinks I want to hear. My side of the family is understanding of my reaction. They know my standing on this matter, and they know that it wasn't something that I just like to pretend that I hate, but secretly loved. Her side of the family is split. Her mother is more conservative, so her motives are not too straightforward. Her father is on my side. Her sister is all in on her dear sister's side, her brother is neutral and doesn't want to get involved. To me, even if she gets the tattoo removed, it shows her willingness to ignore my side of things, do things her way, and then scramble and try to fix the eventual F-up. I can't have that in a relationship. What do you guys think? The wedding is definitely off. That decision I won't revert. What steps would you take regarding the relationship? Is there anything worth saving here? Is this how she will always be, or was this a spur-of-the-moment decision? Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you. Honestly, I don't know what to think of this one. It just, to me, feels like you're being very controlling and angry in this situation. Yes, she did mess up. Yes, she went against something that you both agreed on. But your reaction to all of this is just yikes. I wouldn't want to be around you at all if someone that I trusted with my life reacted like this. Like, Jesus Christ, man, have some composure here. What are you losing your mind over this for? You are scary. In all honesty, if you're going to react like this whenever a mistake happens, which there will be many in a marriage, I think it's better if you two just stay away from each other. In the comments, Curious OF says, out of curiosity, what was the tattoo of? And OP replies, wings, with a heart in the middle. Inside the heart, there is a symbol that is a birth sign that I have on my body. Little Blue Lily asks, what, like an actual birthmark that you have? That's really weird. Her tattoo, not you having a birthmark. OP replies, yes, I have a birthmark that looks like a flower. Think 5 petals. If you saw it, you'd think that I have a flower form pressed on my skin and it left a mark there. So she had the tattoo with wings on the side, symmetrical above her breasts, over her chest. The wings grow from the shape of a heart, and in the middle of the heart is the flower. That is the replica of my birthmark. Unmistakably what it is. Little Blue Jelly replies, I personally love tattoos, and will one day be almost covered in them, as will my significant other, so it's all cool. I don't agree with your opinion on tattoos, obviously, but her knowing this and then having such a personal thing about yourself put in a very obvious place seems absolutely insane to me. I'd never have a birthmark, which some people feel very private about, or anything so personal to my significant other, tattooed on my body without their explicit consent, and letting them see the design, etc. Why she thought that you'd like that, I do not know. Fierce Independence asks, just out of curiosity, as someone who wants to cover your body in tats, if your significant other didn't like them and didn't want you to get another one, would you stop getting them? And Little Blue Lily replies, bit of a tough one to answer here because I actually doubt that I'd ever be with someone who held that position, as I think that we'd be very different people. I also already have 7, some quite large, so again, I doubt anyone who hates tattoos so much would be with me. Totally hypothetically, no, I wouldn't stop, and as this guy has, they would be entitled to leave too. But realistically, I'd never be in this situation. I'm already tattooed, pierced, and dye my hair bright colors, so it just wouldn't happen to begin with. Cobra Fist says, she effed up big time, but to be honest, you sound like a nightmare yourself. Finally, someone said it. Human Drake says, if you're quickly willing to break up with her over a tattoo, I don't know if this was going to work out anyways. Not trying to be rude, and I respect your opinion, but out of all the trials and tribulations you could be faced with together, in my big picture view, it seems like this is lesser in comparison to what could have been. And OP replies, I think it foreshadows her line of thinking in the relationship, how easy it is for her to make decisions with complete disregard of previous discussions. That is a huge red flag, to be honest. Human Drake replies, she may not have truly understood your feelings though. It doesn't sound from your description like she did it maliciously, and it is her body, regardless of how terrible her taste in art may be. I mean, I agree, she picked a super bold place to get this tattoo, but that doesn't mean that she did it on purpose, so to speak. None of us readers can even know the whole situation, so maybe she sucks, lol. I just have an issue myself with reading a situation with the same priority as my husband sometimes. Our disconnect isn't on purpose, sometimes it's just a lot of oops. And now, on to the update. I would like to thank those who provided feedback and perspective and have not straight out called me an asshole. We will continue with the wedding as planned. We realize we still need to work on our communication, but we are also painfully aware how miserable we both were during this whole ordeal. This has been our first serious fight. Well, what happened? Insecurity. She had this idea that I don't think that she is dedicated to our relationship, and she wanted to prove it somehow. Turns out, the end result wasn't something that she was happy with either. My initial reaction didn't help, and for the next few days, things spiraled out of control. After the post here on Reddit, I decided that we needed to sit down and put our ducks in order. I love her, and she loves me, and there was no reason why we would not be able to untangle this mess. Why I hate tattoos? All she knew is that I'm not a fan of them, but not the reason. When I was younger, a lot younger, I was horribly abused by someone that had many tattoos. I don't associate people that have tattoos with abusers, but I'm also not a fan of the tattoo culture because of it. She didn't know, because I never talked with her about it. I suppose I never wanted her to think that I'm vulnerable, or that I was. You can imagine, after these many years, my thoughts on the matter are still mixed. Anyway, she was horrified to learn about this, and she started crying. She will have the tattoo removed. After the original post, I have come to the conclusion that her new skin decoration is something that I will have to live with, but at the end of the day, she is the one I want, and a mild annoyance will not define our relationship. I told her this, but she will get it removed anyway. I think she is horrified by the revelation. We also decided on couples counseling to see if it's something that will work for us. If either of us will be uncomfortable, we will not continue with it. We also decided not to be assholes to one another in petty matters. I will wear shorts again, god damn it. Well, that was a funny conversation. We won't impose restrictions on one another. I will go out with friends and watch football with them again. She can go and meet her girlfriends. We will put a lot of work into ourselves individually and as a couple. It turns out we have a problem with communication, but the prospects are positive. Her insecurities didn't want me to go out with friends because some of them are single, and what if they bring women there that tempt me? So she always had to be there, but she doesn't like football, so you can see where this is going. I'm happy with the results of the original post, she's happy that I took the initiative and broke the ice. My fears were that she had the tattoo done as a power play, but there was no malice. I want a relationship of equals where a decision can be made as a couple. We will see where this is going, but the last 2 days have been amazing. I was asked this question, so here is the answer. We live together, we own a house 50-50. The night of the tattoo reveal, I went to my parents, she went to her parents. Essentially, until 2 days ago, none of us lived home. She said she doesn't want to be there if I'm not there. As a closing note, this could have been a huge mistake for the both of us. Communication is key. I urge couples out there to learn from my story and to open up to one another. Had I done that sooner, I would have never been here. Thank you. In the comments, Ditka the bus driver says, "Not sure if either of you have looked into the removal process, but it is unpleasant. A professional removal clinic can usually get rid of most tattoos, but it's not always guaranteed. It'll take several years and cost thousands of dollars if it's as big as you said." And OP replies, "We don't have money issues. The cost would not be a problem for us. We've been told that removal costs per square inch per session. It could take as much as 20 sessions, so we're aware that it may be pricey. But I made my peace with it and decided that I can live with a tattoo. I can't live without her. She, however, knowing my position, still wants to remove it. She doesn't like it, and the source of my issues with tattoos having been revealed, she thinks that it's best. So, Kool-Aid Man 7980 says, "It sounds like there are a few more red flags in your relationship than just the tattoo. You can't go watch football with your buddies without her because there may be single ladies there and you'll be tempted? I think you need to pause the wedding for a year and see where you guys are. Don't rush into something here." I agree. It's all really trickling out now, isn't it? We only have his side of things, admittedly, but she sounds paranoid, insecure, and controlling. And I even wonder if getting this stupid tattoo indicates a slightly vindictive streak. Certainly an awful prospect for a life partner. OP, I don't know if you wrote the original post when you were still very angry, but this whole update makes this whole story seem a lot different. In the first post, you're calling off the wedding. In this update, you're saying that you want to stay with her no matter what because you love her. Seems a little tumultuous. No relationships are smooth sailing, but y'all are gonna need a lot of therapy. And OP replies, was still very mixed feelings, as reflected by the comments there as well, and a little defensive as well. Read a lot. But then, as more comments were coming in, and seeing the opinions of others, and especially those from people in the chats and PMs, it was clear that I still have to talk with her. On top of that, the reason itself why I hate tattoos, which she was not aware of. Once we had the chance to talk, and decided to be fully honest with one another, it was amazing. And our talk was not a few minutes, a hug, and all was good. We sat there for hours. It was refreshing to find out that we both have some insecurities that are not founded. They had no legs to stand on. These last 2 days we have talked constantly. We shared thoughts and ideas, and it's a great feeling to experience this level of intimacy. It's like we're rediscovering ourselves, but in a very familiar setting. Groovy Girl says, quote, I suppose I never wanted her to think I'm vulnerable. This is a huge concern. Huge. As life partners, it is vital for you two to be able to be vulnerable with each other without being accused of being weak or not manly. You don't need to be vulnerable all the time because that's not how humans work, but you do need to be able to be vulnerable with her. Have you had therapy relating to your past trauma? If not, I highly recommend it. Look for a trauma-based specialist. Hopefully couples counseling will help you both hone your communication skills with each other. Edit. I actually fell in love with my husband the night that he came to my house because he needed some emotional reassurance. He wasn't afraid to cry in front of me, and that kind of emotional vulnerability after dating a short time showed me that he would accept it from me as well. Being that kind of emotional support to one another is so very, very important in a relationship. I wish you luck. I guess I can walk back my comments a little bit now, showing that OP has opened up and has been honest about what was going on. I always feel like it's kind of cheap to point the finger and say, you're just being insecure, buddy, but more often than not, I feel like it is insecurity, as much as it feels kind of rude to say that personally. I don't know why it feels rude, it just does. I'm with everyone else here that says postpone the wedding by a year. There is so much that is bubbling up to the surface, and this is your first fight. Oh my god. No wonder things exploded, because this was like a volcano with all this magma and just hot energy underneath waiting to burst, all in one big torrential flow. I say, nip this one in the bud. Go to counseling with each other. Fix the issues before you commit to each other in a relationship, marriage, whatever. Because the alternative doesn't look too nice. Anyway guys, that's where I'm going to leave you guys for today. I do hope you enjoyed the stories, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.